But it also is asynchronous. Everyone is on different time zones. Everyone works at different times, sometimes morning people, sometimes night people. Because it's asynchronous and you can collaborate at once, it makes all of our revision processes easier, and people can hop into this tool whenever they want to and give their feedback. It's fantastic. We've actually found contractors, designers, interior designer, they're using it. Even more than agencies.
So how do you deal with, and collaboration is great, how do you deal with who has the final decision? Sometimes you have too many cooks in there, so. You
do. And a lot of that is honesty to say, hey, you might know your brand and your product the best. We know conversion the best. So where can we take your best and our best and find a middle ground? Because here's where we don't feel like you should compromise.
Yeah. And that's your job, I think, is to say in the end who's making final decision before you start this process, right? There's some places democracy shouldn't exist, right? If you've ever been on the board of an HOA, democracy shouldn't exist. 80-year-old women who are just looking for something to do shouldn't be able to make decisions for an entire group of people that are trying to. Besides,
my mailbox has a number off of it right now, and I will not hear the end of it. Oh,
that's over. That's over. But you have to establish who's making that final decision. You can give all the inputs. Somebody has to make that decision. So many of companies have problems with that, right? Here's all the inputs. Somebody's got to make that decision. Otherwise, what's the point of doing all this? My question, one of the things I think is it's agnostic, because one of the biggest problems, like Microsoft offers a tool like that, but you know what? It makes you use all Microsoft stuff. And God forbid you bring Google into the fray, into a Microsoft thing. It'll purposely scramble so just to screw you. That's another problem with these AIs now. They're all trying to capture them to send the results back to themselves. So right, Microsoft has it, and it's like, Word is the best tool for this. Of course it is. It's like, I tried. That is 20 years behind what I want. So it's agnostic. So you're allowed to put these systems in place to really capture everything that's going on in there. And you as the agency now, realistically, it is benefiting you, the clients, the people, not the companies that are making these tools, which is important. It's important to delineate. I think receipts are important, but also that agnostic is really important.
The agnostic is so huge. It really is, because everyone has a different suite, especially agencies. Everyone has a different tech stack. And that was one of the things when we were looking for an acquisition is we didn't want something tied to Salesforce. We didn't want something tied to Microsoft. We didn't want something tied to Google even, because every single client that we work with has a totally different tech stack. It had to be standalone and it had to work nicely with all of those. So the integrations are fundamental to making this work. And it's completely agnostic of all of that.